it's so lovely to be part of this festival and that the festival came to my studio today. I prepared the object from my film, and behind that you see my trick table, one of my animation stands for objects. And I brought the objects from this film with me that you showed, the hotspots. In the film, of course, you saw it with stop motion, but we can just leaf through it like in any book. It was a bit inspired by ancient devices for optical toys like zoetropes and phenakistiscopes, where you have only 12 images that develop in a cycle. And so in this book is a kind of study for me. Those who know my former films will think it's quite different from my other films. But I went back in several ways, because in my childhood I made a lot of abstract drawings. And for this, exploring this for animation, I started these studies. First of all, the cycles. And then my question in this study was, how can I develop a metamorphosis from these cycle surfaces to, for example, the next one? And in fact, metamorphosis was one of my initial interests in animation, but I was always interested in complex metamorphosis. And the problem is that's quite difficult to achieve on paper. If you want to experiment, you get soon such huge mountains of paper. So the moment where the iPad came out and digital animation was, you can do it anywhere. From then on, experimenting with complex animation what started to be really joyful and fun. And so that was a kind of a game changer. So this was my first study, to develop these complex metamorphoses from one complex surface to the other. But I want to build them into my bigger narrative works, this kind of animations. But I will continue to make these studies because I have a lot of things to explore still. I tried to find the right frame for the whole process. And there too, I went back to my beginnings, where I like to use pop-up books and other books. And I thought, how can I always wanted to make a wood book. And I had to develop this complex construction to have one page with 12 pages within. And the second wood book had 24 pages. So these formats, I wanted to make very different surfaces, that they differ from each other very much. And I was a bit inspired by the cycle of a day, sunrise and sunset, very abstract, going through a tunnel. So very simple movements. But in the end, that's not important. That's only the movements behind the movement development ideas. The only thing that holds the thing together stylistically are the dots, and that's why I called it hotspots because they lead us from one part to the next somehow. Thank you for your wonderful festival.